are the top 5 reasons why candidates fail? Okay, number 1 of them is insufficient study time. Most frequently cited by most of the people, or most of the I would say institutions providing FE or PE assistance or resources to engineers to write the exam, right? They all cite insufficient study time as being the number 1 cause. And so many candidates, especially those who are out of school for a very long time, underestimate the exam. And this is very true even when I took the exam in 2021. By then I had my graduation for bachelor's in 2014. So I always had the mindset that, okay, this exam is going to be easy for me, you know. So I went into the exam not preparing adequately. And so based on that, they usually will start very close to the registered testing window. So let's say you register to take the exam in January, within January to March testing window. But because of overconfidence and believing in yourself, there's a high tendency of delaying preparation, waiting when it is very close to the time, and then now you start to learn. So this is one of the leading cause of why people do not pass the exam: insufficient study time. The second one is the handbook. So as we mentioned in the previous section, the handbook is the only reference document that you have in the exam. But if you haven't gone through the handbook yourself and be more familiar with whatever information is in there, and you want to do that in the exam, then that's going to eat into your time. So candidates may memorize formulas instead of practicing with the handbook, navigating through all the pages relevant to them. Even though the handbook is huge documents, you don't have to, based on whichever section is stronger for you or weaker for you, you have to pay more attention to the things that you need to remember. So if some things are so easy, then you don't actually need to reference every question in the handbook. So yeah, but you can only get through this by going through it and then knowing what you need. Okay, the third one is studying without the computer-based testing style practice. So it's when you learn for the exam and then you only practice by using hard-copied books or resources, and then do not practice live on the computer, then getting into the exam and seeing the computer-based test is going to be something new to you. And every question you have less than 3 minutes to solve. Okay, so the fourth one is delaying too much after graduation, or delaying too long after graduation. So according to the NCEES Squared 2025 data, 71%, it's shown in the previous slide, 71% of the candidates who took the exam before graduating have a pass rate. And then we have like 70% of those who took the exam passing when they are still within the first year of graduation. So there's a point gap here, which tells you that there's a difference in taking the exam earlier on or delaying. In any case, in our situation, let's say that you have graduated for long, so it doesn't matter here. The only thing is we have to be prepared if we had graduated for long. But this is one of the reasons why people also have difficulties in passing the FE exam. And one additional thing is that the FE exam, since is basically based on the topics that we have the topics that we have gone through during undergrad. So if you stay out of school for long, then it means that you may have been forgetting a lot of things. So that is I think that is the main cause. Okay, the fifth one is repeating without changing your approach. Repeating the exam without changing the approach. And as we have seen in the NCEES records, the first people who took the exam has a higher passing rate. And then the same people register for the exam but has a lower passing rate. So it means that the only conclusion that we can draw from here is that probably they registered after failing the exam, they did not do the assignment well. They just immediately re-registered and then took the exam within a short period of time without looking into detail their diagnostic reports. Or it could also mean that they did not even look at the diagnostic report at all. So this could be some of the leading factors why the repeat takers has a very low passing rate. Okay, let's look at the next one. And so we will talk about the diagnostic reports, how to understand it, what does each point or each knowledge area, whatever you have there, what does it imply? So when you take the diagnostic report, what you would see is that the knowledge areas have been broken down. You have all of them, the 17 knowledge areas for FE, and you have a scale from 0 to 15. There is no percentage in the diagnostic report. And then there is a comparison bar showing you your performance compared with average passing examinees. And there is no fixed CAT score from the diagnostic report that will tell you that this is what you must get to pass. But you have to look at the report, comparing yourself to how others also perform. So another thing is that the report will show you the areas that you did so well and the areas that you have you perform poorly. Okay, so let me go to the next, and then I think the next slide talks about a sample of the diagnostic report. Okay, so this is the diagnostic report is on NCEES website. It's three pages if you should print it. But this one, I'm showing the last page. And in the last page, you would see that we have all the knowledge areas, right? And before I talk about the knowledge areas, you have mathematics, probability, statistics, power, computer networks. So these are the areas that people typically have difficulties. And the areas that people usually perform well is ethics and professional practice, properties of electrical materials, engineering, sciences, and electromagnetics. So these areas have lower points, but people also do well there. Okay, but let's look at this chart here. So if you can see very well, you see that the number of items is the number of questions that were asked on each of the knowledge areas. And then you have the score range that is from 0 to 15. And then on the far right, you have a dotted line in the middle. So that dotted line is the average of passing examinees. If you can see at the top, they say average of passing examinees. And then your performance is a solid black line. So if you can see, this is a solid black line here, vertical line. And then there is average of the examinees here. Okay, so now let's say mathematics, if you look at the first one, the average is in the middle. It doesn't show you the exact mark, but they put the score here. And this is done by subject matter experts using psychometric statistics to give this grading. Yeah, so but nobody knows it because it's never published, and unless you are part of the subject matter experts, and then you would understand it. But this is very understandable. It means that we can see that for mathematics, the person has less than the average. For probability and statistics, the person has less than average. So it applies the same. And then if you look at this, let's say digital systems, you can see that the average is in the middle, and then the black vertical line is on the right side of the dotted line. So this person perform more than the average.